Yes, people, this color is very eye-catching. It definitely grabs attention, but how do they get this blue color? We're going to talk about that. The lights are on, the bar is set, my glass is empty, but I have two glasses because this is a very special episode with something like we've never seen before. Today we are trying Smuggler's Rum. Now this is a rum-based spirit that's based on a popular cocktail called the Nutcracker. That's like a nutcracker. Yes, Smuggler's Rum is a high-proof bottled cocktail that glows. It's like an iridescent, bright electric blue. Look at that. The Nutcracker is a very popular drink on the East Coast or in the Caribbean. We do a lot of research here at the Teeqlife Media Group, and what we found is that if you go to the Caribbean, you can find a version of this cocktail just about everywhere. As always, I get a little bit excited and I'm getting ahead of myself. Welcome to the Teeqlife Media Group studios for another episode of One More Pour. I am your host and the proprietor of the Teeqlife Media Group, Don Ferguson. This is very unique to the Teeqlife Studios. Now, owner Tyree Hudson, he knew about this cocktail and he wanted to bring his own version in bottled form to the United States. Before we get to cracking this bottle and tasting, smelling, all of that good stuff, two things. Number one, on here, rum is spelled R-H-U-M. Now, rum, R-U-M, there's a difference here. When it is spelled R-H-U-M, it typically hints at a sugarcane juice-based rum, not a molasses-based rum. On top of that, founder Tyree, he is an entrepreneur, a published author, and when he saw the craze in the streets going for this cocktail, he knew he discovered something. We'll see what this tastes like. Okay, you know the rules. We're about to pour hat to the back. Let's go. So what I'm going to do here is I have two glasses. I have a Glencairn, and this is going to be for the aroma, for the nosing and stuff like that. Even the color. Ooh, look at that color. Yes, so we're going to swirl this around. I want it to open up. I did catch some vapors as soon as I started pouring this. On top of that, I have a glass with reusable ice cubes so we don't dilute it, so that way I can get it ice cold. Now this is 80 proof, and as you can see going into the color, it is just a bright, bold, incandescent, iridescent, electric blue. Look at that bottle. I mean, that is really striking on the shelf, don't you think? Yes, people, this color is very eye-catching. It definitely grabs attention, but how do they get this blue color? We're going to talk about that later in the episode. All right, let's go in for the nosing. Very tropical. Oh, this is a... Ooh, okay. So where's we're going in, I'm getting some of that toasted coconut. There's definitely some ripe pineapple. That ripe pineapple is just billowing up out of this Glencairn. This is why I like this, like a chimney. It's just pouring it up right into your nostrils. Definitely a tropical party in a glass. And I am catching the rum. That rum is right there. If you've ever had a white rum before, you know it's very distinguishable. And I can really pick that up. In all, it's like a tropical drink. You're getting off the plane, you're walking across the tarmac to a tropical island, and they're handing you this. Now, lastly, the rum, it wasn't overpronounced. What I mean by that is it wasn't coming up and just piercing my eyeballs because there was so much alcohol vapor, but you can definitely pick it up. You know that there is rum in here. So, I don't know. Should we ask the audience? Should I taste? Okay, the one person in the audience said, yeah, one. That is balance. Okay. I see what's going on there. Very tropical. So the base is a silver rum. It's like a tropical fruit explosion in a glass. Now, we tasted this room temperature. This has not been chilled. Now, I probably would throw this bottle in a cooler with ice or the refrigerator if you're at home, but with the magic of the Teeqlife Studios, we have a glass filled with reusable ice cubes. So we're going to shake this around. I'm going to chill it down and see what it does. Because most of the time when you get a cocktail, you're getting ice. Okay, so off camera, we've been chilling this for about 3 minutes. I've been swirling it around just to cool it down, get that temperature back to chilly, not chili water, but chilly. Let's go in for round number 2. Okay, it does tone it down. Anytime that you have a high proof, this is 80 proof. This is basically an 80 proof cocktail, which is almost insane. But when you chill it down, you can get a lot more out of it. It also balances it tremendously as well. So, bold mouthfeel. There is bright pineapple in there. That pineapple acidity is balancing out that coconut. If you're not a fan of coconut, there's nothing to fear here. Don't be afraid because it's really not that pronounced. It's just very mellow, slight subtleties on the back end of it with that pineapple. And it is, I mean, it's pretty balanced in my opinion. All right, let's go number 3. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about the finish. So, that pineapple, there's mango in there. This is like every tropical goodness that you would expect when you're sitting by a pool at an all-inclusive resort drinking some Nutcrackers. Now on the finish, here's what I do like. It is not overly sweet. It's actually balanced. Now a lot of the times doing that research here, when you get those cocktails from street vendors and stuff like that, they're really sweet. They can just be overly sweet to where you got to see your dentist the next day. So there's no burn. There really is no burn, heat, spice, whatever you want to call it, on the back end. It lingers a bit, and all that sweetness that is in here, it's really just like from the tropical fruit. This is relatively, easy to drink, and for those people out there that, are new to drinks, or they're buying all the latest craze RTDs, in cans and stuff like that, this is probably something right up your alley. I'm going to take one more sip, and then we're going to rate it. Where's Captain Jack Sparrow when you need him? All right, here we go. What are we rating this? Typically, I'm not too big on bottled RTDs. I don't do a lot of cocktails. I actually like to drink spirits neat to get all of those flavors. However, when in Rome, well, we're not in Rome. Regardless, forget about that. What are we rating this? Color alone, it's like amazing. This reminds me of another popular drink I'm going to talk about in a second. So, anyway, what do we rate? What are we rating? What are we rating? What are we rating? I'm going to do this at a 4.0. I think for people that love a fruity, naturally sweet, not overly sweet cocktail that they can just take to the beach, they can take on the boat, the pirate ship, if you will, and just pour over the rocks, it's going to get you there because this is pretty much a high-proofed cocktail. If you want to learn more about Smugglers Rum, we're going to drop that website in the comments along with chili water. Let me neutralize my palate. Let's get into some fun facts about Smugglers Rum and the cocktail that it's based after, the Nutcracker. I kind of alluded to it before. The street vendor version can be overly sweet, syrupy, heavy, very harsh. I mean, sometimes they'll pour in way too much of a cheaper rum, and it just makes it not really good to drink. However, the Smuggler's Rum version, that is meant to be smooth, exhilarating, and a good time. How do they achieve this flavor? Now, Tyree wanted to make something very authentic, but great for the market, so it contains a proprietary blend of coconut, pineapple, and mango. Yep, I picked all that up in here. The smell is so nice, especially when you chill it. Like, it actually brings those alcohol vapors a little bit down, and it makes the fruit shine. The color, look at that. Imagine that bottle floating in the ocean with a note that says drink. This color, it comes from a food-grade coloring agent. Now, when you buy them on the streets, a lot of time it's coming from blue curacao. Blue curacao, it's sugar. Back in the day, I had a favorite cocktail, only for a short period of time because it would really get you there quickly, and it was called a blue MFer. That blue MFer it was almost like a Long Island iced tea, had a bunch of different liquors in it, and blue curacao. Up until we started doing research for this, I had never heard about a cocktail named the Nutcracker. So we had to dig in and find out the history behind it. The Nutcracker cocktail. It was created at a restaurant named Flor de Mayo in Manhattan, New York in 1993. And how it came about, restaurant manager Jose Chu, he was hanging out with one of the regulars and kind of came up with this cocktail. The name came by chance. At that time, they were trying to come up with a name for this cocktail. It was very potent. And on the TV at the bar was an advertisement, a commercial for the Nutcracker Ballet. Now, the Nutcracker started out as a very potent, very cheap cocktail that was actually served in a plastic cup. And the reason for one of those clear plastic cups is so that way you can see the brilliance of the color. And you're walking around the streets of Manhattan, you're like, hey, what are you drinking? What's in your cup? Nutcracker. Well, that wraps up another episode of One More Pour here in the Teeqlife Media Studios. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends about the platform. If you need a recommendation for anything, please reach out to us. We can help. Life's too short to drink bad beverages, bad spirits, bad nutcrackers. So choose wisely. We're going to see you on the next episode.